What's up, YouTube? This is me, Johnny, here. Just sitting here in the park making another video. Today I want to talk about what I saw yesterday. I was watching some videos on YouTube on who was it? Doug Caseys, Acapulco, Jeff Burwick, and then a few other things. Anyways, if you don't know, it's that time of year. You can head on down or up to, I'm in Central America, you can head up to Mexico and go to Acapulco. It's in Acapulco. Usually it sells out. Usually it's pretty chaotic. I haven't been there, but I just heard about it. It can be chaotic. And it's the time of year when you can sign up for whatever you want to do. I guess this year Doug Caseys is going to be on. Anyways, that brings me up to, I seen Doug Caseys on Acapulco and a few other things. He's been doing interviews, I guess, for a while now. I haven't really been paying attention to him. Anyways, as an update to, he lives in, not Chile, not Uruguay, although he spends time in Uruguay. One time in a video he said he has a Uruguayan passport, which kind of surprised me. Not really, but he kind of explained how he sets up all his businesses based on his Uruguayan passport. Anyways, he lives in Argentina most of the year, I gather. Anyways, if you haven't watched the news, well, Argentina is in chaos. Well, kind of in chaos. They're probably going to be in bankruptcy again. They probably can't meet their bond obligations, and they're going through some troubles. Recently, they had the election, and the current guy didn't do well in the polls, and he lost the election. Now the lady who used to be president and her husband, she's back in power, but as vice president. The president is some other dude, I don't know who's the power behind the throne. I assume it's her, I don't know. Anyways, Doug Caseys was talking about how the country's in total chaos, and he let it be known. I'm sure he said this in other videos too. He sunk maybe 8 or 9 figures into Argentina, and it's getting pretty bad. So maybe he's got a little egg on his face. So like Johnny Mueller says, it may be okay for some people, Argentina, but you may not want to sink a lot of capital into it. The reason I mention that is because now they have exchange controls. They're kind of mild. Before two or 3 weeks ago, you could get money out. Now it's, I don't know what it is, but you got to get permission to send money out. It was before that, I think under 10,000 you can send out. Now it's something quite a bit less. I'm not sure if you can get permission for larger amounts. Excuse me. Anyways, Doug had mentioned in the video he has kind of a little estancia there, a little farm. I know in the past he had a real estate development. I always assumed in his real estate deals, whatever capital he put in, he got out from selling lots, etc., developing the land, and the fees he charges for various odds and ends there. Anyways, hopefully he did, but he had mentioned if you have a farm now and you want to sell your cattle outside the country, it's a 35% tax. I was just thinking that's about what taxes in the States, 35–40%. So the people who ran off down there are the more wealthier elites who have property and wineries and cattle. They're famous for their cattle down there. Now, if they want to export it, they gotta pay 35%. If they actually make a profit, they gotta pay tax on top of that, which I seriously doubt. Hopefully there's some workarounds for them. I imagine they're gonna be smuggling cattle out of there. At least some people are, just to get money out. Because as of now, I don't think you can really send large amounts of money out. And if you do any business there and you sell things there domestically, I'm presuming you get hit with a lot of tax, so that's why they have the 35%. I want to call it exit tax, but exporting, it's an export tax, I imagine. Anyways, that's some news on Argentina. They're going through another economic crisis. Their banks haven't got the corralito yet. I mean fully and completely, but I can imagine soon you won't be able to take any money out of banks. Maybe $200 a week like in the past. I think that's what it was in the past. So with the exception if you can do settlements offshore or you can do settlements in Bitcoin, that's about the only way you'll get money out. But in the past, if you were to settle a house title, my understanding was they wouldn't let you settle outside the country. You had a way of figuring out how you did that. Maybe they don't or maybe you could put it in an SA corporation and do something else and settle the transaction outside there. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, but I thought they had a way to kind of shut that down, but I'm not really sure on that anymore. I don't follow that. It's out of my league, so to speak. Anyways, there's some thoughts on Doug Caseys. I was just watching some of his latest videos. Then there's Jeff. He had a spiritual awakening. If you haven't been following him, he had some, I don't want to say legal issues, but some of his previous businesses went the wrong way, I'll put it that way. Anyways, all of a sudden he became pretty spiritual, kind of kept the low profile for a while. Excuse me, but he still makes videos and stuff, and he still does anarcho-polka. I don't know if he's really turned a leaf or not, but I wish he will. I hope he has. Anyways, if you watch the last video he did on anarcho-polka with Doug Caseys, if you watch all the way in, it's some interesting pastimes that he and Doug apparently do. Now that he's had that spiritual awakening, I don't know if he'll be still doing that anymore. I guess only they'll know. Anyways, this is just Johnny from Chile, Guatemala. I'm probably going to be here another month, maybe 2. I thought I was going to leave this month, but I changed my mind. So anyways, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Maybe I can help you in some way. If I can be of service, let me know. And that's it for now. Thanks. What's up, YouTubers? This is kind of a part 2 to my previous video. What I had forgotten to mention is I was watching some Doug Caseys footage he had done, and typically he gets a question, where can you go to, where can you escape to, where's a cool place to chill out. And I noticed his tones changed quite a bit, and it kind of matches up what I've been noticing in the world. Most of the world now has FACTA, most of the world has almost all the US banking regulations and requirements. Even if you're not a US citizen, it's a pain in the neck to open an account. Anyways, he was asked about it. There's really no place isolated in the world anymore, except for maybe St. Helena. Every once in a while I'll be watching videos on that, thinking, I wonder if a person can go there. I don't think they really allow people to settle there anymore, even if they ever did. But he had mentioned the main thing now is political risk, and I've been thinking about that. And in that regard, he mentioned having a second passport or residency. You can live somewhere and bank somewhere else. That's about all you can do, because most governments now are pretty rapacious. Most governments are now basically bankrupt from what I can tell. If you haven't noticed, even in the news, Lebanon just today or yesterday put on some limited exchange controls. If you have any accounts there, the interest earnings, I think half your interest earnings now will be given out local currency, not US dollars or euros or pounds, whatever your deposits were in. Whatever they were in, when you get them back, half of them will be in local currency, which they're inflating away. And I can't remember, but I think they actually have exchange controls, but I might be wrong in that. They might be limited exchange controls. So what I'm noticing from places like Lebanon to all over the world, there's what I would call limited exchange controls on currency transactions and whatnot. Anyways, there really is no cool, easy place to live anymore, earn a living, do banking, do any kind of business. Things are pretty regulated now. Things are pretty taxed. Most governments are bankrupt. Even now in the US, it's harder and harder to really pretend we're not bankrupt, but most people still are. I don't know, I don't follow politics too much anymore, but quite a few of the Democratic candidates want to have taxes on the wealthy, despite the fact, just as an example, Bill Gates donated most of his Microsoft shares to a foundation, and once you put the shares in a foundation, you can't put a wealth tax on them. That's what people don't realize. Most wealthy people put their money either offshore or in foundations in the States or in LLCs in the States. By that time, you can't really introduce any new taxes that will really affect them. Excuse me, maybe here and there you can, but not much. All those things can be managed. All those things can be dealt with, and usually with a lawyer. Anyhow, I just wanted to add that I haven't really found the perfect place to live, except for I like Central America. I think now more and more you have the business in one country and or assets in another country. I don't think you need to go to the extreme with Doug Caseys, have a residency in yet another country. But just thinking on it, quite a few countries now are pretty unstable, especially in the West. Excuse me, I don't have any water. But that's why I prefer Latin America. Most Latin countries are pretty, how can I put this? Pretty unregulated. It can seem chaotic, but not much changes here. Anyhow, if you can earn your money, the main thing now, I think, is if you can't, try to earn your money online and use countries outside your country of birth to bank in. Pardon me. Oh man. Anyhow, I'm gonna have to shut this video short. The sun's in my eyes now. But I've been thinking about a lot lately. There's not really one perfect place to live anymore. There's not one place you can live and plan your life for 20, 30, 40 years. You really have to compartmentalize your life. Like I said, have banking and brokering in country A, residency in country B, possibly a second or third passport in another country. That's about the best you can do. And I would say travel a lot, be willing to travel. If you're willing to travel and move around, it's still another 20, 30 years before really the government can track you and tax you and harass you. Even then, things are changing so fast from a technology point of view. I'm hoping some of the new tech, when it comes out, it'll make it harder for government to harass you, but it could be quite the opposite, as we're seeing in China, with China harvesting people's body parts and intimidating countries. They're even in Chinese are even intimidating countries in the West. By that I mean places like Australia, US universities, things of that nature. Anyways, I'm going to cut this video off. I got the sun in my eyes. I can't concentrate. I need a drink of water. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you.